I've been in ministry. I celebrate 23 years of ministry this month, and half of that ministry has been in pastoral work, and the other half has been doing what we're doing right here, is ministering on the road in different churches and living rooms and patios and pool houses and everything all across the world, honestly. And over the last couple of years, we've been doing this exclusively. We also host a lot of online media, podcasts, written a couple books, but really, when it comes right down to it, our heart is to just tell people about the goodness of God and the love of Jesus. It's to minister to people a finished work, not an unfinished work. I was raised in the church. I'll say a lot of things about my background today. My dad is here, so we've went down this road before. So if I say something, you go, wow, he say that with his dad in the room, because we've been on the same journey, and that is that we had a lot of religious burdens in our life. Anybody else familiar with that? Came up in Christianity, saved as a kid, baptized as a kid, went into the ministry as a kid, to be really honest with you. But I came up in a ministry mindset that was, you can lose your salvation. God can get mad at you that if you fail or you falter or you take your hands off the plow of the work of God, that you'll die and go to hell, even though you accepted Christ. But you'll die and go to hell because you didn't put forth the right effort. When I accepted the call into the ministry, it went from being a call to being a mandate. And then for us, the mandate was preach or you'll burn. Right. I mean, you literally, God called you to preach, so you preached. And if you ever stopped for any reason, you were going to go to hell because you'd put your hands on the plow. And that creates a vision, an image of God that's a taskmaster, not a father. I mean, and if he is a father, he's an abusive one. I mean, he's prone to punch you in the nose if he needs to. But how many of you also realize that it creates a kind of believer who is a believer? I believed in the Lord, I believed in the Father, but it creates the kind of believer who doesn't have much patience for other people. Well, there you go. Doesn't have any patience for people acting silly and sinning. Doesn't have any patience for people that he believes isn't taking it serious. Doesn't have any patience for people that don't want to go to church, don't want to read their Bible enough, that want to say this or go there or act that way. No patience. In fact, we become judgmental pretty quickly. We have to, because we've been drinking the wine of Moses for so long that the only thing we know to reciprocate is Moses. I believe that the American church has a Moses hangover. I think we've drank the law for so long. We've drank performance, which is do good, you'll get good, do bad, you'll get bad. We've drank that elixir for so long that all we're left with is a headache spiritually. And when you got a headache, you're irritable. You're cranky. You're mean. You're in a bad mood. How many of you know some Christians in a bad mood? And that's me. That was me. I was just there for so long. And I know now, looking back, that it was this hangover of performance. I had gotten drunk on my own self-righteousness. I really started to believe in Paul White. Right. It's a dangerous place when you begin to believe in yourself for righteousness. It's one thing to believe you can do it. I believe I can do it in sports. I believe I can do it in academics. I believe I can do it in my marriage. It's another thing to believe you can do it for eternity. That's a tall task, man. And so that there was just an exhaustion that came in trying to be a religious performer. Jesus was surrounded by religious performers. I mean, we don't have a lot of context for what Jesus would look like on the planet today because we don't even really understand the religious world that Christ came into. But if I can paint just a 30-second picture, Jesus comes into a world full of his own kind, Jews, I'm talking religiously, full of his own kind, but they're scattered. They don't have a land to call their own. They have a temple, but they're being overrun by the Roman Empire. Everywhere that they turn, they are a people in need of and looking for a military Messiah. They want someone that will overthrow the Roman Empire, someone that will conquer Caesar. They're not looking for someone to die for their sins. They already have lambs in the temple. They already have a priest. They already have all the stuff that Moses provided them. And that makes them feel good about their eternity. They don't feel good about their temporary, but they feel great about their eternity. And when you don't feel good about your temporary, but you feel great about your eternity, if you're coming at it from the wrong perspective, that can make you pretty judgmental. And so the most holy, and I say that with air quotes, the holiest men on the planet when Jesus came to the earth were the Pharisees. Now, when we look back on the Pharisees, we go, well, that was a religious, they were judgmental, they were hateful, and probably we're right about all of those things. But if we were in their day and you were to ask a Jew on the street in Jerusalem, give me an example of a holy man, they would have picked a Pharisee.